Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Valsa Williams and with me is Pallavi Manchanda with the evening news. The headlines. Campaigning intensifies for the next phase of polling in UP and for single phase in Goa and Uttarakhand. Bahujan Samaj Party releases another list of candidates for 6th and 7th phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh. India is committed to eliminate single-use plastic, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his virtual address at the One Ocean Summit. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar calls for a free and open Indo-Pacific at 4th Quad Foreign Ministers meeting in Australia. Rajya Sabha adjourned till 14th March 2022 as the first part of budget session ends. Arogya Setu users will be able to create 14-digit unique Ayushman Bharat Health Account Aabha numbers from the app. IRCTC to resume serving meals in all trains from Monday. Government to launch Smile scheme tomorrow for welfare of transgender community and beggars. And in cricket, India sets victory target of 266 runs for West Indies in final ODI at Ahmedabad. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, to get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And other news in detail. Less than 24 hours are left for the end of poll campaign for the second phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh. The polling for this phase is scheduled on the 14th of February. All political parties are leaving no stone unturned to garner public support. AIR Lucknow correspondent reports that senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed a political rally in Kasganj district of Uttar Pradesh. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister said BJP governments are working for the welfare of farmers and providing them the necessary agricultural products at reasonable prices. Talking about the crisis of COVID-19, the Prime Minister said during COVID periods, the Uttar Pradesh government did a wonderful job to provide employment, food and security to every citizen of the state. BJP leader and Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur campaigned for party candidates in Varanasi district. Leaders of other political parties also held door-to-door campaign, road shows and virtual rallies. Campaigning for party candidates in Rampur, Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav criticized the BJP and said that not a single section of society is happy with this government. He said this election is for saving democracy and the constitution. At the Congress Mahapratigya virtual rally, Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra said the main issues in this election are unemployment, inflation, women's security, farmers' issues, fertilizers and its distribution, but no political party is raising these issues. Bahujan Samaj Party today released another list of candidates for the 6th and 7th phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh. The party has changed the candidates in some seats. It has changed its candidate on Notanwa Assembly seat of Maharajganj district. The ticket has now been given to Aman Mani Tripathi, who is the sitting MLA and son of former Minister Amar Mani Tripathi. The party has pitted Subhash Yadav at Beria seat of Balia district, from where Minister in the state government Anand Swarup Shukla is contesting from the BJP.
In Goa, campaigning for the single phase of assembly election will come to an end tomorrow. Polling in Goa will be held in 40 constituencies on the 14th of this month. Leaders of BJP, Congress, TMC and Aam Aadmi Party are making whirlwind tours to woo voters. Exhorting people to vote in favour of party candidates, BJP Goa in charge, Devendra Fadnavis, said some that every vote given to BJP would turn the state into golden Goa. Seeking votes in favour of a party candidates, TMC Goa co-in-charge Sushmita Dev said that BJP's double-engine government has failed to meet aspirations of Goa. Meanwhile, senior Congress leader Rahul Gandhi reacted to PM Narendra Modi's repeated jibe at Nehru and said PM Modi is distracting Goans with false remark. Talking to reporters at Panji in Goa, Mr. Gandhi said, freedom fighters have commented on it. Rahul Gandhi said Congress will not allow Goa to become a coal hub. In Uttarakhand, campaigning for the single-phase assembly elections will also come to an end tomorrow. Polling in the state will be held on the 14th of this month for the 70 constituencies in the state. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the BJP government is working with the resolve of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas. Prime Minister was addressing the voters in Almora today. Mr. Modi said that the people of Uttarakhand know that only the BJP government can make this decade a bright decade for Uttarakhand. Meanwhile, another senior BJP leader, Rajnath Singh, also held public meetings in Karnaprayag and Ghansali constituencies in the state. Former Chief Minister and senior Congress leader Harish Rawat campaigned in Tali Haldwani, Daulakheda and Durg Palpur. He appealed to the voters to vote in favour of Congress. He said that if Congress comes to power, the youth will be given employment and a cylinder for 500 rupees. In Manipur, 2 independent candidates have withdrawn their candidatures for the first phase polls of the general election to Manipur Legislative Assembly. Today is the last date of the withdrawal of candidature for first phase polls. 1 independent candidate each from Langthabal Assembly constituency and Kankpokpi Assembly constituency withdrawn their candidature today. Now 173, including 15 women candidates, are in fray in the upcoming first phase polls in Manipur. In first phase, voting for 38 assembly constituencies will be held on February 28th. 176 candidates filed nomination papers in first phase. 1 nomination paper was rejected and 2 candidates withdrawn their candidature. Meanwhile, today was the last date of submission of nomination papers for second phase polls in Manipur. Scrutiny will be held on 14th February and last date of withdrawal of candidatures is February 16th. In second phase, voting for 22 assembly constituencies will be held on March 5th.
In Punjab, adequate number of central paramilitary forces comprising personnel from Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF, BSF, CISF, ITBP and SSB are conducting area domination exercises at Indo-Pak border adjoining areas in big cities like Ludhiana, Amritsar and Jalandhar to ensure free, secure, inducement-free and fair polls in the state. Giving this information, the CEO said there are a total of 56 nakas at the second line of defence, including 7 in Amritsar rural, 6 in Batala, 10 in Gurdaspur, 6 in Pathankot, 7 in Tarn, 12 in Firozpur and 8 in Fazilka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India is committed to eliminating single-use plastic. Addressing the high-level segment of One Ocean Summit today, Mr. Modi said India has recently undertaken a nationwide awareness campaign to clean plastics and other wastes from coastal areas.
India is committed to eliminating single-use plastic. India recently undertook a nationwide awareness campaign to clean plastic and other wastes from coastal areas. 300,000 young people collected almost 13 tons of plastic waste.
The Prime Minister said 3 lakh young people collected around 13 tons of plastic waste. The Prime Minister also informed that Indian Navy has been directed to contribute 100 ship days this year to cleaning plastic wastes from the seas. Mr. Modi added that India will be happy to join France in launching a global initiative on single-use plastic. In his address, the Prime Minister said, India has always been a maritime civilization and today our security and prosperity are linked to oceans.
India has always been a maritime civilization. Our ancient scriptures and literature talk about the gifts of the oceans, including marine life. Today, our security and prosperity are linked to oceans. India's Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative contains marine resources as a key pillar.
The Rajya Sabha has been adjourned till 14th March 2022 as the first part of the budget session ended today. The House will meet after recess in the second part of the budget session. In his observation, Deputy Chairman Hari Vansh said the first part of the session did not witness any forced adjournment and the upper house functioned half an hour more than its scheduled time. He termed the session as effective and positive and expressed hope that this spirit will continue in the future. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has asserted that the government's inflation management is robust and inflation rate stands at 6.2% despite the challenges posed by the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic. She countered the opposition's allegations over the inflation while replying to the discussion on the Union Budget 2022-23 in the Rajya Sabha today. The minister said Union Budget 2022-23 talks about stability and creating modern infrastructure in the coming 25 years.
The budget actually speaks of stability. It continues some of the policies of last year, and that policy will guide us towards the next 25 years. We will see modern infrastructure. The coming 25 years are going to be important. No wonder we are calling it as Amritkal.
Ms. Sitharaman said the budget will bring continuity and stability in the economy. She stressed that stability will ensure growth of the economy.
Indian Railways have prepared a National Rail Plan NRP for India 2030. The plan is to create a future-ready railway system by 2030. Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, in a written reply to a question in the Rajya Sabha today, said the NRP is aimed to formulate strategies based on both operational capacities and commercial policy initiatives to increase modal share of the railways in freight to 45%. Ayush Minister Sarbanand Sonowal said the ministry has allocated sufficient funds to the National Institute of Siddha to enhance infrastructure, including increase in the strength of doctors and research facilities. Mr. Sonowal said in 2020-21 over 47 crore rupees were allocated. Replying to questions in the Lok Sabha, the minister said a clinical trial to evaluate the safety and efficacy of Siddha medicine Nandi Mergu in stage 1 and 2 breast cancer patients has been initiated in collaboration with the All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi.
The government today said that 8,500 Jan Aushadhi Kendras have been set up across the country, which provides affordable medicines to cancer patients. Replying to questions in the Lok Sabha, Health and Family Welfare Minister Mansukh Mandaviya said that cancer is a multifactorial disease, the risk factors of which include aging population, sedentary lifestyle, use of tobacco products, alcohol, unhealthy diet and air pollution. He said that government is setting up 1,50,000 health and wellness centres in the country, out of which 80,000 centres have already been started. The government today said the prices of Jan Aushadhi medicines are cheaper at least by 50% and in some case by 80% to 90% of the market price of the branded medicines. In a written reply in the Lok Sabha, Chemicals and Fertilizers Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya said that about 8,675 Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana Kendras have been opened in all the districts of the country till last month so as to ensure accessibility of quality, affordable, generic medicines.
In Kerala, 4 wagons and the engine of a goods train derailed near Pudukkad railway station in Thrissur district this afternoon. Rail traffic has been diverted through the second line on the Thrissur-Ernakulam route. The derailment delayed several trains, including the Shornur-Thiruvananthapuram-Venad Express, Mangalore-Nagarkoil-Ernaad Express, Kozhikode-Thiruvananthapuram Jan-Shatabdi and Bengaluru-Ernakulam Intercity, among others. Efforts are on to restore the railway track. Over 171 crore 79 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said over 48 lakh 18,000 doses were administered yesterday. The recovery rate is currently at 97.17%. Over 1 lakh 50,000 recoveries were reported in the last 24 hours.
The Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation Limited, IRCTC, has decided to resume cooked food on all trains by 14th of February. IRCTC in a statement said that with the requirement of travelling passengers and easing of COVID lockdown restrictions across the country, IRCTC is all set to resume the services of cooked food in trains. It said the restoration of cooked food has been done as per guidelines received from Railway Board. It said cooked food has already been restored in 428 trains, and of the total number of trains, cooked food had already been restored in 30% by December last year and 80% in January this year, and the remaining 20% will be restored by Monday. IRCTC added that cooked food on premium trains like Rajdhani, Shatabdi, Duronto had already been restored in December last year. The National Health Authority (NHA), under its flagship scheme of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission (ABDM), announced integration with health app Arogya Setu. This integration takes the benefits of 14-digit unique Ayushman Bharat health account Aadhaar number to the Arogya Setu user base and beyond. Under the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, a user can generate their unique Aadhaar number. They can use this Aadhaar number to link their existing and new medical records, including doctor prescriptions, lab reports, and hospital records. They can also share these records with registered health professionals and health service providers, and also access other digital health services while maintaining a common pool of medical history. The user can generate their Aadhaar number using their Aadhaar number and some basic demographic details like name, date of birth, gender, and address. If the user does not wish to use their Aadhaar, they can use their driving license or mobile number to generate the Aadhaar number.
The government will launch the central sector scheme SMILE, Support for Marginalized Individuals for Livelihood and Enterprise, in New Delhi tomorrow. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment in a statement said the umbrella scheme is designed to provide welfare measures to the transgender community and the people engaged in the act of begging. The ministry has allocated 365 crore rupees for the scheme from 2021-22 to 2025-26. It includes two sub-schemes: Central Sector Scheme for Comprehensive Rehabilitation for Welfare of Transgender Persons and Central Sector Scheme for Comprehensive Rehabilitation of Persons Engaged in the Act of Begging. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has called for a free and open Indo-Pacific at the 4th Quad Foreign Ministers meeting. He also urged member nations to work towards ensuring a rule-based international order. The minister said since their last meeting in February 2021, the global geopolitical and geoeconomic order has become more complex. He called upon the member nations to work towards rule-based international order which is free from coercion and respects territorial integrity and sovereignty, rule of law, transparency, freedom of navigation in the international seas, and peaceful resolution. Meanwhile, the 4th Quad Foreign Ministers meeting has concluded in Melbourne, Australia. Tweeting about it, Dr. S. Jaishankar said, "We are focused on the early and effective realization of our leaders' vision."
You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jagu Grahak Jagu.
Now here is a review of proceedings in Parliament today. First from the Rajya Sabha, writer is Rajesh Ahuja of UNI. The first phase of the budget session of Parliament concluded today to meet again on the 14th of next month. In Rajya Sabha, responding to the debate on the Union budget, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the government has gone for a budget which stands for continuity and simplified tax structure. To carry out growth, we wanted to concentrate on infrastructure development. We wanted to bring complementary between different infrastructure spending. This would result in better outcome of infrastructure projects, she said. She also said a sustainable growth will ensure that India remains on the top. She said startups are being encouraged because of easy access to funds. There are critical ideas through which these startups are contributing to the economy, she said. Highlighting the importance of emphasizing digital technology and governance in the budget, she said it would aid in transparency in governance beyond easing the process for the common man. On the opposition claims that Manrega was brought by them, she said, while claiming to create a scheme, they should also take credit for its misuse. Manrega was infested with ghost accounts. It had people on rolls who were not born. You should also take the credit for misuse of Manrega, she said. On opposition charge that numbers in Economic Survey and the Union Budget are different, she said, I just want to highlight Economic Survey draws its source from one particular set of data. The government looks at advance estimate, which comes just before the budget. The advance estimate, which could not have factored in Omicron, have been added, so there is some variance in numbers. She said that allocation in health and family welfare have gone up from 64,000 crore to 86,000 crore rupees. The finance minister said the inflation management of this government is robust. Highest inflation this country endured was from 2010 to 14, when retail inflation was more than 9% in 22 out of the 28 months, she said. On opposition criticism on disinvestment, she said it was the Malhotra committee set up during the UPA period that had recommended bringing private players in the insurance sector and other PSU disinvestment. On the opposition charge that the government is anti-poor, she said a former Congress president had observed that poverty is a state of mind and does not constitute lack of material possessions. On the opposition charge that policies are remotely controlled from Nagpur, the minister said during the UPA period policies were decided at 10 Janpat and announced at the PM House. She also referred to a former Congress president tearing a decision taken by the then Prime Minister. On opposition questioning whether the government plans to legalize cryptocurrency, she said we have taxed the profit emanating from the transactions. She also claimed that the government is not doing anything either to legalize it or ban it or regulate it. On some members alleging inadequate allocation to states, she said that for 2022-23, the allocation for states is 1 lakh crore rupees in capitalizing the overall investments in the economy for 50 years without any interest burden. She said in November 2021, the government ensured that an advance installment of devolution is given to them to double their cash in hand. Similarly, in January also, it increased the monthly installment so that they can spend faster, she said. Earlier participating in the discussion, K. Ravindra Kumar of the TDP demanded an inquiry into the borrowings and mismanagement of the finances by the YSRCP government in Andhra Pradesh. K.C. Ramamurthy of BJP described the budget as forward-looking. Deputy Chairman Harivansh complimented all members for their cooperation in the smooth running of the House. He also hoped that we continue to be guided with the same spirit in future.
And now, review of proceedings in Lok Sabha. Writer is Kumar Rakesh of PTI. Opposition parties including Congress, TMC and National Conference staged a walkout from Lok Sabha today protesting against the reported remarks of Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, who had said that the state can become Kashmir, Kerala or West Bengal if BJP is not voted back to power. As the House met for the last day of the first phase of the budget session, several opposition members rose from their seats and reached near the well of the House protesting against Adityanath's remarks. MPs from Kerala Congress had moved an adjournment motion over the remarks. Speaker Om Birla said the matter would be taken up after the question hour and asked the agitating members to go back to their seats. Soon after, members from TMC, Congress, Kerala Congress, National Conference, DMK and SP walked out of the House. This is the first time during the ongoing session of Parliament the Lok Sabha witnessed protests during question hour. The government informed the Lok Sabha that the situation in Afghanistan is of natural concern for neighbouring countries like India, and in broad terms, the Central Asian countries share same concerns and similar objectives. Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan answered members' queries on the issue during the question hour. To a question by TMC member Sugat Roy over the broad consensus on Afghanistan at the Central Asia Summit, Muralidharan said the issue of Afghanistan was discussed during the summit and the situation in Afghanistan is of natural concern for neighbouring countries like India and Central Asian countries. India and the 5 Central Asian countries also decided to establish a joint working group on Afghanistan, the minister said. During the 0 hour, several members raised several issues. Shyam Singh Yadav of BSP demanded that there should be a Heer regiment in the army which will have soldiers from Yadav community. Congress member Pradyut Bordoloi raised the issue of alleged extrajudicial killings in Assam and demanded a judicial probe into it. Sanjay Seth of BJP called for a memorial to freedom fighters, while BSP's Danish Ali voiced concern over Mannu University is not opening, even though a decision to open schools and colleges have been taken at several places. Later, the House took up a discussion on various aspects of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. That's all in Parliament Review.
The Sensex and the Nifty today declined more than 1% amid negative global cues. The Sensex closed below 58,200 points, while the Nifty ended below 17,400 level, a report from the Business World.
Sensex lost 773 points to trade at 58,153. Nifty fell by 231 points to 17,375. The rupee weakened by 43 paise against the US dollar to trade beyond 75 rupees per dollar mark. The domestic unit closed at 75 rupees and 38 paise against the American currency. Gold trading at 48,740 rupees per 10 grams. Silver prices declined by 1,050 rupees to 62,220 rupees per kilogram. And in intraday trade, Brent crude was trading around $92.60 per barrel. Arjun Chaudhary for AIR News.
India defeated West Indies by 96 runs in the third and final match of the ODI series against West Indies at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Hosts scored 265 runs all out in the stipulated 50 overs. The guests were bowled out for 169 runs in 37.1 overs. Shreyas Iyer played an excellent knock for India, smashing 80 runs off 111 balls, and Rishabh Pant also registered a half-century. Jason Holder took 4 wickets for West Indies. By today's win, men in blue completed the series sweep. Mohammad Siraj and Prasidh Krishna took 3 wickets each, while Deepak Chahar, Kuldeep Yadav and have taken 2 wickets each for India. India defeated the West Indies by 44 runs in the second match on Wednesday to take an unassailable 2-0 lead in the 3-match series at the same venue. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is likely to have mist. Temperature will vary between 8 and 24 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 21 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 34 degrees. Chennai is likely to have a partly cloudy sky. Temperature will vary between 22 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 14 degrees, maximum around 23. Srinagar will have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between -2 and 13 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 6 degrees. Maximum will be around 22. Leh is likely to witness partly cloudy sky. Minimum and maximum temperature will hover between -14 and -1 degree Celsius. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between 2 and 14 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have mostly sunny sky. Minimum temperature will be 4 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 19. Visakhapatnam will have partly cloudy sky with haze. Minimum temperature will be 19. Maximum around 30. Bengaluru will have fog in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Campaigning intensifies for next phase of polling in UP and for single phase in Goa and Uttarakhand. Bahujan Samaj Party releases another list of candidates for 6th and 7th phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh. India committed to eliminate single-use plastic, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his virtual address at the One Ocean Summit. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar calls for a free and open Indo-Pacific at 4th Quad Foreign Ministers meeting in Australia. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha adjourned till 14th March 2022 as the first part of budget session ends. Arogya Setu users will be able to create 14-digit unique Ayushman Bharat Health Account Aabha numbers from the app. IRCTC to resume serving meals in all trains from Monday. Government to launch Smile scheme tomorrow for welfare of transgender community and beggars. And in cricket, India sweep 3-match ODI series against the West Indies in Ahmedabad. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.